monk mode, NoFap, dopamine detoxing, and so many others. The more of these trends, the more of these methods you see, the more overwhelmed and confused you get. After all, the more you research, the more it seems to exist. It just feels like you're missing out on so much. And the biggest problem is that there always seems to exist a missing piece, a secret that you don't have access to, but others seem to have it. The person talking to you seems to have something you don't. But you know what? Everyone else is wrong. Me and only me have the secret that you want. And today I'm gonna share with you the secret. I'm fucking with you. And everyone that goes ahead and says that they have this missing key or this missing secret is just likely trying to sell you something. Well, obviously I also have stuff to sell you, link in description. I'm not gonna do it behind a secret or behind a magic pill because I don't believe those things exist. Obviously, there's good information, there's bad information, there's information that works, but at the end of the day, anyone, me, you, anyone watching is only, or you are only going to become successful when you can take all that information and make it your own in a lot of ways, to apply it, to understand what works, what doesn't, and more importantly, what works for you. With that said, there's overall guidelines, overall things that anyone can do to make them better, specifically to allow them to then go and get this information. If you're trying to become in better shape, get a better physique, if you're trying to get richer and wealthier, whatever it may be, there's certain things to put your mind and essentially your mindset in the right place that are going to help you universally. And today we're going to talk about one of those pieces that is crucial to me and a lot of people that I work with, and I'm going to give you pretty much all of it and how to go about it, why it's so important, how to apply it, and really how to reap the rewards out of this. And as the title says, if you're between 18 and 25, these are things that most people are not doing and that most people will never do. And if you begin doing them, especially the younger you are, the more ahead of them you will get of competition in general. But most importantly, the more ahead of where you are yourself are gonna be. So let's get into it. Now, before anything, I want you to imagine an average life. It would be something like birth, growth, working, reproducing, retiring, and then dying. Now, don't click off yet. I promise it will make sense. Because every night you fall asleep and wake up the next morning. You then go through a morning routine, which often decides how good the day ahead will be. At the end of your day, you come back home to rest, and then the cycle repeats. I want to draw a parallel here to a quote I really enjoy, especially then put it in this context, which is, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop." We can make the parallel using this quote, but applying it to our lives and to an average life as we were looking. In this sense, a day is not a drop of time in the ocean of life, but the ocean of life in a single drop of time. In this way, and as we're talking about, the better you can claim your morning and set up everything that comes after, set up your life that comes after, the better you're going to be able to claim it, to fulfill it, to not fall prey to distractions and bullshit, social media, stuff like that, and really allow you to sit down and do the work you have to do, the uncomfortable one, the one that leads you to procrastinate, the one that when you sit down, you just feel uncomfortable. The more you can go ahead and do that, because often what determines success or failure is how willing you are to face the uncomfortable but very important tasks that have to be done. There's just one big problem. When you start claiming your mornings, which we're going to be talking about mostly here today, it seems a bit unimpactful. It seems a bit irrelevant, because when you're doing these things, especially on just a day context, just on that single day, it seems like a lot of times you're just going through uncomfortable things and wasting time. Logically, it doesn't make sense if you're using like 10 to 20 minutes to do these, because you can say, oh, but I'm just going to waste them on something else later. But the mind is tricky. The mind will play games. It will tell you, no, but we don't have time. We have to go. We're on a rush. We have a lot of stuff to do. But then what will happen is throughout the day, you'll waste a lot of time. You'll watch a YouTube video, you'll scroll TikTok, you'll scroll Instagram, you'll play video games. Now, the critical point is that progress only occurs when you're willing to face this discomfort. It's when you're meditating and your mind is telling you, just stop here, but you decide to go in a bit more until the alarm rings. No, we're not going to cut it short. When you're journaling and you decide not to rush through it, let me be thorough with this. It's when you begin a new project and there's still 3 weeks to go, but instead of listening to your mind and just delaying and going, YouTube, video games, all these things, it's to say to yourself, no, I'm going to sit down and begin this. and create the structure and start to write, start to do. It's those days when it's raining outside, it's cold and you're tired, but you know you have to go to the gym and you still go. All of these days, these moments when you are facing adversity, true adversity, when it feels tough to you and you can go ahead and do it, that's when progress happens. The more you begin the day by facing such feelings and winning over them and having power over them, the better you'll then transition to the rest of your day and facing these hard tasks and these hard challenges in the rest of your day. And the more you do so, the more progress will happen. And you know why? Because you won't fear that which is truly uncomfortable, that place where real progress happens. But now, most importantly, what can you do about this? How can you start claiming your morning, actually starting taking this power for yourself, facing the uncomfortable and allowing you to transition to the day? Now, before we get into that, I want to share here with you a quote that I use quite a lot. You may have heard me say it, but I'm going to say it once again. As to methods, there may be a million and then some, but principles are few. The man who grasps principles can successfully select his own methods. The man who tries methods, ignoring principles, is sure to have trouble. With that said, I want to give you the principles. I want to give you the foundation. Essentially, I want you to understand what is behind the practices and give you some practices too. But so that then you can go ahead and actually select the practice, decide in the future if something is useful or not. With that said, the main principles you want here are mindfulness, stillness, and facing discomfort. Now, first of all, mindfulness essentially is being aware of everything that is going on inside of your body, inside of your mind, and really being able to take a third-person perspective on these things, allowing to see the thought playing out, but not indulging in it, allowing yourself to feel whatever you're feeling, but not having to assume it's bad or wrong. Now, one of the biggest practices for this is meditation, just sitting down and breathing and being in the present moment. But pretty much anything that is not, you're not connected to any electronics, you're not highly engaging in anything, it's just you with yourself. Any practice that does that will help you here. So the main ones would be meditation and journaling. However, if you then find some others that allow you to do this, go ahead and use them. Second of all, stillness, highly connected to mindfulness, because often for you to be mindful, you have to be still. You have to be in stillness, meaning just stepping away from all the noise, all the chaos, the noise of the cars of the daily life, the Instagram the Instagram reels, the TikToks, all these things, these high pace activities that essentially cause your mind to go faster. So here, a separate practice from the ones we talked about already would be walking in nature. Somewhere that is away from all the chaos, away from a lot of people, away from a lot of, city noise, even, don't take your phone, away from all these distractions, and just to be able to walk and be with yourself and be with, the thoughts and everything that's going on inside you. And then finally, facing discomfort. Now, there's a lot of ways to do this, but if we're talking more in the morning, because that's what we want to focus on here, the best way that I know how to do this is to take a cold shower. There's probably nothing more uncomfortable that you can do in the comfort of your house as this, because first of all, very uncomfortable. Second of all, you could easily change it to warm water, just change the thing a little bit, and now the water is warm. And really, you have to fight your brain over it, because there's plenty of acceptable excuses not to go in. Oh, it's too cold. Oh, maybe I'll get sick. Oh, maybe I've heard warmth is actually better for us. But those things don't matter, because it's not about that. It's about facing discomfort. And the more you can take that step forward into the cold, into the uncomfortable, the more then you can fight your mind. You can fight these excuses, can fight all the bullshit and actually do what you have to do. And so if you craft a morning routine that is mindful, still, and allows you to face discomfort, you're setting yourself up perfectly for the day. Now, facing discomfort is so important because of what we talked about. And the first two, mindfulness and stillness, are so important because they allow you to be more present. They allow you to, above all, recognize everything going on inside you. These excuses, this bullshit, all the things that cloud your mind, all the noise, and it allows you to, first of all, understand it and then to deal with it. And the more you do it, the more you meditate, the more you are in stillness, the less noise there will be. meaning it becomes easier to actually do what you have to do, to be focused, to be disciplined, to actually be the person you want to be. Now you have the principles and some of these practices to go and do. However, if you'd like to combine both the principles and go a bit deeper into them, and also practices and really detailed how to do them, and really how to craft this routine for yourself more specifically, I have the Marcus Aurelius morning routine. So I did a lot of research into obviously Marcus Aurelius, what he did for his morning, and what a lot of high performers have done for their mornings, and really put it into a easy to understand way, easy to apply step by step, that most importantly can be applied to any morning, quote unquote. So no matter how much time you have, from 5 minutes to an hour in the morning, it allows you to adapt it to you. I won't go into detail. You can check more about it, link in description. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.